On the inside, I was always going home. Turns out, it is not a place. What's left of me? A mere shadow of a person, afraid of their own darkness. Afraid of their own self. The lights were guiding me until I got lost inside my own shadow. Then I had to become my own light. And every time I close my eyes, I still see it in a reflection of silence. I should have left you there, you said. But how can I leave the only one standing beside me? How many did we lose? Not even your name. Why can't I find it? It must have rained. It surely did. Washing over us, cleaning off our defeat. When we first stepped into the damp field, no matter how gloomy it was, how dark, it was nice to be back, away from the burning sands, to be safe, safer than in court. You know, it started happening quite often. Maybe I should write a book about the world I see whenever I close my eyes. Maybe then it stopped haunting me. Like a past, if I didn't know better. The lights you see aren't real. A mere distraction, the foreground of your sight. To distract you from your darkness. To distract you from your own shadow. Sometimes it's too late to turn back. High honest ceilings of the corridor leading to the room of assembly was meant to remind anyone how small you are. That there are bigger things in life than you. Tingling sensation under my skin. Heaviness in my shoulders. Echoed with each step. The first time I had to deliver the reports to the assembly, happens to be the only time I felt as hard. I know life happens and it couldn't have been all my fault. But no matter how often I say it to myself, I still cannot believe it fully. reaction. That must have been what was dreading me. Always hated the unknown. There in front of me was a half-round room, lit by the rays of morning sunshine, making their way through two tall windows. In a center, 4 people already awaited. The head of wards, head of research, representative of Seers, and head of militia. I cannot see their faces clearly through the blinding light. Yet atmosphere felt heavy with their silence and their anticipation for what I had to say. But then, corridor, room, cold under my skin, I'm missing something. Wait, you weren't there. What am I missing? You were there in the field outside the city, outside Ashara. And now you're not in the assembly room, not with me. I shouldn't have been there. It should have been you delivering the message, not me. It falls under your line of command, not mine. I'm missing it. Where did you go? Did you survive? Leo, the head of wards, asked how come we survived in Core in the forest for 2 weeks, when our comrades fell. Why forest if it was a desert? And somehow the fact that you were injured and survived made it even more suspicious. And also they oversaw the fact that I was injured too. Maybe not injured enough for their liking. There is no path, only walking. For who closes their eyes to see the echo of tomorrow, scattered in a sense of today, builds a foundation of self, carved in the soul of this world. But they will know of him and remember the sound of their soul. Long after the shadows of winds forget own existence. Sometimes I wonder how far away is home. I don't think the measurement for this distance has been invented yet. And a part of me is actually happy, because maybe that means there isn't any. I always had a feeling there's more to life. I couldn't quite figure out what is it I'm missing, no matter where I looked. Until the first night back felt like I haven't left at all. It gave me the illusion that everything was fine. And maybe a part of me willing to forget was taken over. Yet I wasn't alone. Was it you? No, your impromptu report was better than expected. In that moment I knew it was Ilvari's voice. Way colder than expected. His face revealed nothing as always. Years of serving as the commander of the 3rd Division of the Guardians of the Flame etched themselves in the scar running down his right cheek, and in the grey hair falling down to his shoulders, framing the face that never revealed what lay beneath it. Was something wrong? Did I do something wrong? I don't know if what you said there was true, but thank you for not leaving my son severely there to decay. I think that's what he said. That sounded like praise. Not sure I ever heard him praising anyone. Wait, that's your name, Savelli. How did I forget? Does it mean you survived? You must have. Ilvari was too unfazed to... What was the next thing he said? There will be future investigation of what happened to your unit. Of course, as you understand, you can expect to be questioned and tested for energetic residue or any abnormalities. If it helps, they will do the same to Savelli. So you can expect a visit from Seers or research department. We just need to make sure we are better prepared next time. And you're fit for the active keepers of fire duties. I was sure they needed to figure out whether our sighting was cool, because no one has ever made it out from their land. So the fact that we survived was suspicious enough. Like we would sit around and wait for better times to demolish the sacred fire. And what about the wolves? The ones keeping the watch behind the backs? Secret services of sorts. I asked. They have their own ways. And only when I closed my eyes did I see the worlds inside my mind. The memories of lives long lived. The lights still passing through, hoping one day they will find me. But until then, I close the doors of my mind to leave the doubts behind. Yet, I see their echoes sipping through in the dust on my shoulders. I never thought it will come to this. It's like, no matter how fast I run, my past is always faster. But then, some days I wonder if it was true. The doors of the Sanctum opened, and I was hit with that smell. Damp stone. Incense smoke. Something mossy underneath it all. The woman with the mask covering upper half of her face stood waiting. You are expected, she said. Nothing more. I followed her down the corridors, lit by something between torches and lamps, as if fire lived behind the glass. My footsteps echoed. Hers didn't. She stopped at one of the doors and let me in without a word. Or more masked figures sat facing the entrance. Another figure stood there unmasked. I didn't see the face yet, but recognized the statue. My father, the head of the family. It's not unusual for family heads to spend their time here. I grew up knowing that, but it was supposed to be about core. About what happened to my unit. Not about politics and not about family business. He turned, saw the question mark all over my face. There is a vision you must know about. The masked woman in the center leaned forward. At the edge of the abyss stands a hawk. She paused, letting the image take shape. The sky darkens. Rain begins to fall. But it is not water, it is fire. Each drop burns the ground beneath. A hawk. A family crest for a hawk. A pack of lions surrounds the hawk. They circle. Then, as the first drop of fire touches the ground, the lion stared, no longer watching, hunting. Another seer continued, voice measured and cold. The hawk takes flight to escape their jaws, and the fire rain is already falling. It catches the bird mid-flight, wings ablaze. When it falls to the ground, the flames go out, and there it lies, surrounded by nothing but ash. Silence. I waited for more, yet vision was delivered. I nodded like I understood. I didn't. I could think of at least 3 ways of how to decipher this vision, and liked none of them. We believe someone in your family will try to extinguish the sacred fire. The way they looked at me then, like surviving core, made me the most obvious suspect. Did they look at you like that too, Ilvari? Is it why I cannot find you now? My father stepped closer. Said he would prefer if I leave my position, step down from the duties, maybe join wards instead. I said no. The silence that followed was heavier than the incense smoke. That imagery can mean everything. The fire can mean war, and stopping the war, it's a good thing, isn't it? He said it wasn't a place for discussions. That made it worse. Being shut down like a child in front of Seers. Being told my interpretation didn't matter when they couldn't make sure theirs was right. I looked at the masked figures. They sat there like judges, like they have already decided. The wings of my dreams disappeared once I stepped outside. The sun burned memories away. The wind whispered me my name. My true name. When I crossed the point of no return, only then I started remembering what I have long forgotten.